People, Jeff C here. A quick follow-up to the video that I mirrored here. This is the video of the Seattle police officer who is allegedly fired. Officer Anderson, Greg Anderson here, from the Seattle police force. And if you can recall, I'm sure almost everybody's seen it, the video that he did where he was in his police car and he was talking about how, police acting tyrannical and not not serving the people. It's not serving and protecting the people, but, imposing a dictatorship and all that is very bad. And people need to stop doing this sort of thing. And he needs, he was appealing to other police officers to not enforce, unconstitutional sort of, tyranny sort of thing, right? And everybody put this out. I mean, this was a big viral thing, and it can be, I didn't upload it because I was a little not sure, sometimes, we can be played, and what would it be if we were played? And I wasn't really sure about the guy, and I saw that everybody else had uploaded it already sort of thing. So I figured, I don't need to upload this. It's been seen, right, sort of thing. Then today, the word came in that this guy had been fired, and I watched the video, and I researched him. It turned out he's legit. He's a police officer and all that. So I uploaded the video. My thinking, of course, is that we need to show that there are good cops. If there are good cops out there that are standing up to this, then it's an important message to get out. And then hopefully police officers around the world see this and then realize, you know what, we can't enforce tyranny. We have to remember who we really truly serve, sort of thing, and all that. Well, there's some fishy things about this guy that can't really be ignored, and people pointed out in the comments saying, this guy's got 33. He's got his Instagram here. He's got the one eye symbolism, and he's Greg Anderson 33. Here. And then his wife here is J Andy 333. So I don't think I have to tell you. Most people probably know that 33 is the biggest code, or one of the biggest numbers for Freemasons and for the occult, and they use it all the time, and it's one of those things. So we know that in police forces, that Freemasonry is basically the secret society that controls most police forces around the world. That's why they use a lot of the symbolism, including the checkerboard, right, and the compass and square and all that are used often in police logos. So it's one of those things that can't be ignored. And why would they play us? Why would they play a guy? Why would they use a guy like this? I'm not going to show his Instagram. I don't want to get into his personal stuff, but why use a guy like this? And yeah, the answer could be, it could be that they're trying to set the example for policemen around the world that if you speak out, you're going to be fired, sort of thing. That would probably be the best sort of guesstimate to why they would allow something like this to go viral. If he is indeed a shill, that he is indeed working for the NWO and he's just playing a role. And so, yeah, I'm going to ask you people, based on what you've seen, what is your opinion on this character? And I want to get enough response that, if it turns out that this guy is indeed not legit and he's part of the whole thing. Well, I think I'm going to take down my video anyways, because I don't want to, I don't want to promote things that are part of their shenanigans, part of their machinations. And it can be difficult. There is, it's always good to scrutinize every little thing. People were scrutinizing the other day with the video of the woman with the child, but I didn't think that one was. It's kind of inconceivable for me to think that a 5-year-old child would partake as a crisis actor in a scenario. It just seemed too real for it to be fake, sort of thing. But there is the possibility, and everything should be questioned, and everything that goes viral, you should think about it for a second. If it is going viral, usually there's a reason for it. and it's not really good for us. So it is something for people to consider with this character here, that he could be playing that role, that his purpose might be just to put out that, opposing sort of narrative to what's actually happening, so that they can say, this is what happens to police officers who don't do what they're told. And he says he has 2 homes and he's got a family. 2 homes for a police officer. It's pretty good. And then he's saying in this video that he's thinking about taking a sailboat around the world. So maybe, it doesn't sound like he's all busted up about losing his job. So these are things to take into consideration. I was wary of this guy. You know what? Another thing that kind of reminds me of was this guy. You remember this guy here? Because when I first saw the police officer, I thought it was very similar. It was like he was sitting on the other side of the car. I know it's the other side of the world, so they use the British sort of seating, I guess. But this guy here, who's a complete actor, if you recall this here.
Can you fucking stay at home, motherfucker? I just don't fucking understand this. So if you are fucking distributing your motherfucking this.
Now, I caught this guy on a channel called Dr. Mumby, who is a very influential African, Wake Up Africa type of thing. And he was playing a different character. Yeah, he wasn't a police officer. And this one went super viral, and it's almost the antithesis of what we just showed, or the character we just showed, which is popping up here. You got High Impact Flicks, who will never miss an opportunity to cash in on these things. You have to wonder if, well, I know this one we were totally being played. I left this video up, and you see I put possible actor. Well, I can say it's pretty much confirmed at this point in time that this guy's an actor, but I left it up and I left a comment here, and I showed that there's a video, because I thought that's the way to do it, right? Sort of thing. Like, this video goes viral and it's being used as an example of how, tyrannical and crazy the police are. It seems like they're playing different sides against each other. It's all that left-right going against each other, just driving the herd all in the same direction. You have the shepherds on the, on one end, and the other end, or the cowboys or whatever you want, right, that are driving the herd, right, on the left and the right spectrum sort of thing. So this one was very interesting with this character who, is clearly just an actor at this point in time. This Greg Anderson character is not an actor. I don't know what's happened here. This Greg Anderson character is not an actor. He's actually a real police officer, as far as we can tell. And an interesting thing to say about him as well is that he was in the military and he served in Iraq. And he talks about being in battle situations. Now, just because he's in the military doesn't make him a shill, but it is something to consider, because you could have special op, you can probably, high up or at least in special forces in the military, and then transferring over to police forces, and then using the 33 code in his name, the one-eye symbolism. Probably people would go through this stuff and find more with these characters, but whenever you see the 33, you've got to pay attention to it. So, yeah, I think we're being played with this character here. I think it's part of an overall sort of attempt to control the flow of information. Also, just control the opposition, and, of course, set the bar for the rest of the police out there, because maybe they're worried that a lot of police might start, disobeying orders and not enforcing, and then they can use this guy as an example. Well, you see that guy there, the guy, the former whatever Navy SEAL, whatever he might be, right? Like a super cop type thing, right? He got fired because he stood up against this and he called it out. So, yeah, I'd like to know. I would like to know. I'm going to put a poll up on my Patreon, so you can come to my Patreon if you're not already a member. and take part in the discussion there, because I'll post a poll on this guy. I'd like to get a real honest opinion. Does the good outweigh the bad, or should we ever be allowed to, or should we allow ourselves to be played potentially by these characters, right? It's an interesting thing, because what he says in his original video actually resonated with so many people that it went viral around the world. But does it go viral around the world because they wanted to go viral around the world for the whole, control sort of thing? So very interesting question. So I would really like to hear your opinion on this. As you know, when it comes to doing this work, there's no way I'm ever going to promote something if I find out that it's a fraud. It's just never going to happen here. So if I'm convinced that this guy's a fraud, there's no way I'm going to promote him, sort of thing. That's why I want to get to the bottom of it. Anything that I do put out that I find out at some point in time is not correct, I will definitely come and correct it or take it down and then offer a sort of correction on it, because I believe that we all must strive to deliver the truth, really, and not be swayed by emotions and theatrics of the New World Order. So it becomes difficult because we want to be able to reach as many people as possible. We want to be able to plant as many seeds, and we have precious little time to try to wake up the masses because we are already in a whole lockdown, scamdemic lockdown sort of thing. So we're desperately trying. That's why when it comes to characters like this, it's easy to see why so many people, want to try to, stop this police state from taking over, and would share this guy's videos without maybe realizing that the con may be on. So, just as I was finishing up my last video, I just got word of this, people leaving comments in my videos. This is a GoFundMe page for Officer Anderson, and he's getting major cash right now. Almost 40,000 already raised, and it just went up 17 hours ago. You see, Jeff Cohen here just gave some money. I mean, this guy could end up making a ton of money off this. Just saying. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and thanks for the folks that come in. I appreciate people that come in and say, you know what, this guy's fishy or something like that, or I discovered something. I appreciate that, because, I want to be fully honest with everything I put up, and I'm not going to catch everything. I'm going to miss stuff. I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to get things wrong. So, you help me out by, providing any sort of countering information or anything, any sort of critical thought or even constructive criticism or anything like that is very beneficial to the work that I do, because I definitely do not want to misdirect people or promote shill operations and stuff like that. So very much looking forward to seeing your comments on this one. And yeah, let me know. What do you think? Is this guy a fraud? Would you trust this guy? Do you think the good outweighs the bad? Can it really? I mean, if it's something they want to go out, is that part of how it all works, sort of thing? These are big questions. And I'll look forward to reading your responses. Much love. All the best. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Take it easy, folks.